Okay, well, welcome to ZenTen Day 5. This is the day that we shade our patterns. So we did Zonct on Monday. We did Isocore on Tuesday. We did Flux on Wednesday. And then we did Cogwheel on Thursday. Here are the names of the patterns right here. Sorry for my messy writing, but it is hereditary, so it's not my fault. Okay, haha. So we have our tortillon and our Zentangle pencil. Well, you can use any pencil, of course, and you can use a Q-tip if you don't have a blending stick or a tortillon. So by the time I'm going to count to 3, I want you to hold up your tortillon, even though I can't see you, and I want you to say tortillon at the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Tortillon. Very good. Okay, so now we're going to start to shade. So let's shade Zonct first. And I think with Zonct, I'm just going to do a cushion shade, which means with the side of the pencil, we're just going to gently bring in some graphite along the perimeter of this whole pattern. So I'm using the side of the graphite pencil, because when we use the side of it, it will blend in a lot better. I'm just putting in a little bit. You can always add more later. I just like to bring in a little bit, just giving it a nice aura. It can be messy. Don't worry about, if it's in the line or out of the line. It doesn't really matter. So then once you've got that down, let's take our tortillon and just blend it in. So let's take a nice deep breath in while we're doing this. And out. And we do that because it helps us to relax. It helps us to get centered and to really be in the moment so we can get the full Zentangle experience, which is a meditative art form. And so what I'm doing now is I'm going over it again. After I blended it in, a circular motion, I'm now going around again and kind of pushing it out just to give it another layer. So we want to keep this whole middle part white, but we're going to, and I'm going to turn my tile to get a easier, more comfortable position, but we're just bringing it out. So now it has another shade of gray and another layer. Helps with that cushion. And you can kind of see why it's called a cushion shade, which is something I just learned recently, because it almost looks like a cushion where the pillow is kind of in the middle that looks a little bit more fluffier in the middle. So it starts to lift off the paper there. All right. And if you want, you can come in just even a little bit more if you feel up to that. Okay. All right. Now this paper, as I mentioned once before, it's just regular white paper. It's not the Zentangle tiles that we use in our classes, where the shading on this paper is much easier. I don't know if easier is the right word, but it blends a lot more effectively, but it still looks very nice on this paper as well. Okay, so let's move on now to Isocore. And with Isocore, every place where it looks like it's going under, where they're connecting here, using the side of your pencil, just put in just a very little bit of graphite, just right along that edge where they connect. And you don't have to do this on all of them. I mean, depending on how big your section ended up being. But see how here's another area that looks like it's kind of connecting or going underneath, and I'll put a little bit there as well. So if you just look at those places, then you just blend it in, staying right where it is. And you can do this randomly, sporadically, or you can hit them all. So let's just spend some nice quiet time now putting on down the graphite, blending it in with our tortillon, feeling totally relaxed, not worrying about what it looks like. So I think every day this week, I don't think I did one class that was 10 minutes. I think I did one that was 18 maybe. I think I did one that was 8. So I'm not worrying too much about the time. It's, you know, it's not exact, just like Zentangle. There's no perfection, but it's not like it's 30 minutes when I say 10. So it's still a doable time, amount of time to just start your day in a relaxed state, creative state, getting your mind to function in a more productive way where you will be able to take on different things that come your way with less stress, maybe a clearer head. If you have a problem to solve, if you start to do some Zentangle and clear your head, or just sit quietly, those solutions could just appear. So right now, all we're focusing on, all we're thinking about is what we're doing. We're just putting down some graphite, using our tortillon or our blending stick or Q-tip to blend. And we're just focus on being in the present moment. Watching how this pattern is coming to life. Not that it wasn't living before, it was beautiful before too, but the shading really makes these patterns transform. Just like our minds transform when we do Zentangle. It really does. Remember to turn your tile whenever you want. I know it's not a tile, we just call it a tile because that's the Zentangle lingo. It's a paper tile. Whether it's in a sketchbook or not, we're calling it a paper tile. And remember, today's the day that if you're done, you can post a photo of what you've done on the Facebook page. It's the Rejuventangle Facebook page. I will have a designated post. So wait till the post is up. Hopefully it will already be up before this video is aired, let's hope. Just look for the post that says, post your photos here of ZenTen from this week. And it will be pinned to the top of the page, so easy to find. I would love to see what you all did. And please give this video a thumbs up because that really helps me out a lot. Make sure you're subscribed to this video, to the channel. Okay, so look at that. So now let's move over to flux. And with flux, I'm just going to kind of give a little bit in the bottom here. Zoom in. A little bit in the bottom of each one to start with. Let's start there. And then I'm probably going to do a little bit more, but let's just start kind of where those stems are. And then blend it in, staying very close to where you put that graphite on because we don't want to cover the whole thing. Just kind of accent where those stems are. You can go back and blend those in some more, push it out a little bit more. And now, if you'd like, with your tortillon, what's left on there, and with the graphite that's already here, because if you rub your tortillon on that graphite, more will come on your tortillon, and now just push it up along that right side of that flux, and just give it a little highlight there, So I'm just coming up on one side, pushing that graphite, and just giving a little bit of a highlight, curving it to the top, sticking to that one side. And remember, there's always many ways. There's many ways to shade every pattern, many ways to draw every pattern. And so you can follow your inner artist intuition and do whatever feels good to you. I really like how that looks. And again, this camera does not do the shading justice, but you would think it would for 300 bucks, but what are you going to do, right? So now let's move on to cogwheel. So how we're going to shade this is something a little bit different than what we're used to, but still very, very easy to do. We're going to pick one cogwheel at a time, and we're going to pick one area and shade it. And it really doesn't matter, but think of it maybe like a quarter of this whole section. So don't even think too much of what that means, but basically it's just one little area of that section. Putting some graphite on, doesn't really matter. I like to stay kind of towards the edge and then blend that in, just staying in that one little section. And as you can see, I am moving towards the middle a little bit. And you're going to do that on each one of these cogwheels, but maybe pick a different section. And we're using the side of the pencil, just putting a little graphite down, finding one little area, one side of your cogwheel, blending that in. And you can see as I go towards the middle, there's different layers, different shades of gray. And so keep doing that. I'm going to be quiet for a moment so you can just focus on what feels good to you, wherever you are. And when you're done, take a look at your tile. Maybe turn it around, different angles. See how different it looks when we turn it around. And take a look to see if there's anything else you want to add to it, or maybe some more shading. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a little bit of the perimeter cushion shading, just a little bit. So I'm going to just kind of go over this already pencil here from our string. So I'm just going to go over that just a little bit in circular motion, kind of just giving it a lighter aura type of shading. And I'm going to do that on this side as well. Just kind of grab that pencil graphite that's already there, giving it a light shade. This is what my inner artist is telling me. Your intuition may be telling you to do something totally different. You might want to go darker with your shading. You might want to take out your pen and add some embellishments to this. You can darken these lines if you want to with some of them, so you could kind of trace over parts of this pattern just to give it some weight, to accent it a little bit. That kind of looks nice. I like that. Just tracing over some areas. Okay, I have a feeling it's way over 10 minutes. I have not been timing. And okay, so when you're done, just like we do every time, we want to sign our artwork. You can sign it anywhere you'd like on the front, and you can sign it any way you would like, with your names, your initials. You can have your first letter of your name. You can design your initials to be fancy. We call that a chop. And make sure you date your tile if you're not using a sketchbook, or even if you are, because I always put the dates here, you know, my messy dates. All right, so there we go. Thank you for joining me this week. Remember to give this video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Make a comment if you like, and please post your completed artwork on the Facebook page. It's just Zentangle is the Facebook page, and I'll put it in the comments. Have a wonderful, relaxing, fabulous, enjoyable day, evening, and weekend. And see you Monday.